Good afternoon. It is Friday, March 27th. Sorry, I have to look down to see what the date is on my laptop. I wanted to just touch base today and talk a little bit about anxiety because that's something that I have been feeling, that others that I've been talking to have been feeling, and that clients have as a result of this COVID virus. And sometimes just life in general, and then this virus just adds on to that. And so wanted to touch base about what it is and to give you a couple of tools to help you manage it as you're navigating these days. And so what is anxiety? How do you describe what that is? And usually what I would say to a client in front of me is that anxiety is living either in what has been and maybe it'll happen again, or what could be and living in the what ifs. And what it isn't is how are you living in now, in today, in the present. It is Friday, March 27th, it's 12 o'clock and I'm in my basement. I'm not 5 weeks down the road and broke and destitute. How do I get to today? And so if we take that example of finances, how do we manage anxiety around finances? As an example, you may have anxiety about another issue related to the virus and the pandemic, but put that in. So we're just going to use finances as the example. So what are some ways of helping you manage anxiety around finances? Well, one thing could be if you're living in the what if, you may be living in not knowing the answers, obviously, because you're living in the what if. You may be living down the road of the worst case scenario and that plays out in your head and it's mixing around and it's feeling overwhelming because you're on a track. And so one way of helping yourself with that is to get the facts. Talk to your financial planner. Take a look online at what the government is providing. I will drop a couple of links, both for the BC government and for Canadian government, in the resources that they have put out there, so that you can get some answers around that. Talk to your bank, see if there's a chance of getting, they've just introduced really low interest rates or actually no interest for certain situations. Get some of the facts. And what that does is it takes you out of the what if, it takes you out of the one unknown and helps you to deal with the facts. And the facts may still be scary. They still may cause you anxiety. And yet, you're not adding on all of the what ifs. If you know what you're dealing with, then there's an opportunity to make changes, to take steps in order to address what is real, what is now. And I also wanted to provide you with a practical grounding tool. So it's called 54321. I've used it with almost every client that I work with because it's important to find ways to help yourself, to manage emotion, to manage anxiety, anything where you're spinning around in your head or you're finding it hard to concentrate on what you need to work on. And so it's really effective. I actually just tried it in the shower, and I noticed that the anxiety that I was feeling, or the wondering, really came down because I couldn't think about all of that stuff. I had to focus on what I was trying to do with 54321. And so when I'm doing this, I'm doing it a little bit faster than I actually would encourage you to do it, just because the video, I want to make sure that we have an appropriate amount of time in here and I'm not taking up too much of your time. So you want to slow it down. So way slower than I'm talking right now. You want to pick, you're going to pick 5 things first that you can see. So 5 things that you can see, and it's not just I see a picture frame, I see a lamp, I see a candlestick, I see a picture in the background. It's, okay, so I see a picture in front of me. It's got a white frame around it, and it's, you call that distressed, so there's some brown showing through. It's a picture that my husband took of the Grand Canyon, and it's actually ironic that I'm picking that because my supervisor told me to pick something to put in a room that reminds me to slow down. And so I want to really slow down and pay attention to what's in that picture. So there's yellows, there's greens, there's browns, and then there's dark in the background. And so around the frame, there's some intricate parts in there. They've done some decoration. And yeah, I think that's all that I can look at on there. So the lamp that's in front of me, it's silver. It's got a stand that goes like this, and the bulb is bright and shining in my face. There's a handle to turn it so that the light can go up and down, and then there's a handle over here to turn the light on or off. It's got a solid stand, and I know it's a solid stand because I've lifted it up and it's been heavy. And so slowing that down and looking at 5 things that you can see. The next thing that you want to do is 4 things that you can hear. No, sorry, 4, I always mix up one. 4 things that you can touch. And so that is physical touch. And so I can touch the chair that I'm sitting on. I can rub my hand along, and it's got a pattern, it's got a weave in it. And as I slow down and touch that, I notice how that feels on my hand. So for lack of showing you things that I can touch my hair. And so how does it feel to feel my hair? I know that it's clean because I just had that shower. Right now it's wavy and curly. There's a texture that hair has. And as I sit with that texture, it actually kind of feels good to have that in my hand. It's a tangible thing that I can touch. And now I'm going to put it down. So then 4 things that you can touch. And then you go to 3 things that you can hear. And really just slowing that down, because especially with hearing, sometimes it's hard if there's nobody else in the house or in your office or in your car. Slowing that down. What are 3 things that you can hear? So if I be quiet, can you hear her? I have my daughter upstairs and she's singing, and she loves to sing. She's actually making up a song right now, and so if I really listened to it, I probably would learn a little bit about her and what's going on for her right now. She has been singing Frozen 2 songs, so I'm actually kind of glad that that's a made-up song right now. So just slowing that down. What are 3 things that you can hear? And then 2 things that you can smell. See, I always get stuck. 2 things that you can smell. And so sometimes it's hard to find something that you can smell. So that can be 2 things that you love the smell of. And so when I did this exercise earlier, I remembered the smell of a rose, and then that actually turned into, I actually love the smell of any flower that I can just put my nose right into and absorb that smell and how that makes me feel. It produces calm, and just remembering those smells. And then you want to go to 1 thing that you can taste. And so sometimes that's the taste of coffee in your mouth, or you can drink something that you've got, or put something in your mouth, or again, remembering something that you really love the taste of. And so when I did this, I remembered the taste of a movie popcorn with M&Ms in it, and just remembering that flavor and sitting with it. And then I would add 1 step to this. So once you've done all of that, just noticing, how does your body feel now? Where, if there's still some tension in there, slow down, ask yourself what you need in that moment in order to calm that down. Notice if that doing this whole exercise has brought down that level of tension, and whether that kind of feels like a burden has been lifted. And then maybe after doing that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then you're going and exploring the ways to solve some of that anxiety that you're feeling, because then it doesn't feel so out of control. You've got a little bit more care. You've practiced grounding, and you're feeling a little bit more present and able to handle what comes next. My hope for you is that this tool would work. Everybody's different. It works great for some, and then other people are like, whatever, that didn't work. And that's totally fair. And I can provide you with some other tools as we go along. But give it a shot. And I'd love to hear how that affected you, if it made any difference, even if it's just for 30-second break from all of the thoughts that you're having. It's worth it. It's a break. So I will post those links to the Canadian and BC government for you below. Let me know if this works, or if you have another tool that works. You can message me, or you can put a note in the comments below. Thanks for checking in. I hope you have a great day, and probably weekend. I probably won't be back until Monday. I'll talk to you later. Bye.